Hi everyone, let's take a look at this new release, Escape from LA in 4K. Let's do it. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to do an opening for you today, but not just an opening, I'm going to give you a review. I'm going to do an opening for the Escape to LA Special Edition box set. We'll have a look at the inside. I'm going to watch it, I'm going to review it, give you my thoughts on a rewatch of the film, because obviously I have seen the film. I do have a Region 1 import Blu-ray from some time ago, but I upgraded to 4K. I know it's not a much loved film in comparison to the first, but I've always enjoyed it. But we'll get into that. So I'm going to open it up, take a look, give it a watch, give you my thoughts on the transfer and all that sort of stuff, and the film. So let's just get into taking a look at this release first. Okay, so here we have the front, as you can see, collector's edition, which includes 4K UHD, Blu-ray poster, art cards and stickers. So let's take a look at this Kurt Russell film from 1997, high-octane action thriller. There's the back. Unfortunately, it is shy of special features, which is highly unfortunate. Now, I know there is talk of a sound issues on this or something, but I'll tell you my thoughts once I've watched it. The only thing is it might not affect me too much, which we'll come into. So there's the front, and I do love that poster. I used to have this as a poster on my wall back in '97 when this film came out. I do remember going to see it, and yeah, I just think Snake Plissken is such a cool character. So this here is an open up release, you know, one of these gatefoldy type ones, like so. Take the stuff out that's in there. So here's your two discs. That's your 4K disc there. Snake Plissken underneath. This is when he's in the submarine. That's the Blu-ray disc. The 4K disc there. Snake Plissken there. Snake Plissken with Bruce Campbell, heavily made up as the surgeon of LA. Yeah, there we have the Surgeon General of LA, I think it's called, that title. And there we go. So let's have a look at what you get with it. So first up is this, which is a sticker of some description. Yep, and then we get that sticker there, and that's it, 2 stickers. Okay, then we get some art cards. Let's take a look at these. Now these art cards are completely blank on the back, nothing on them. So Snake Plissken, can't remember this actor's name, he's the bad guy. Black and white photo, you can see one of Snake Plissken on his bat wing. Yeah, bat wing. And John Carpenter directing. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 art cards, 2 colour-free black and white. And then we get this poster, which is double-sided. And we'll take a look at that. Let me adjust the camera. Okay, so let's take a look at this poster that came within. So on the one side you have that there, which is the poster that I had. The logo is written somewhat differently though, when I had it back in '97. And on the other side, same sort of poster, just different bit of colour scheme to it. Now this here is the cover to the US Blu-ray release that came a while ago, the one that I showed a little while ago. So yeah, so poster in there. So to be honest, not a great deal for the price that you pay. I think it is somewhat overpriced, but there we go, it's life, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now, I am still here. I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to watch this on the old 75-incher and come back up and give you my thoughts on it after that. See you in a bit. Welcome back everyone. So 2 hours have passed. I've just sat and watched Escape from LA. in 4K. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the film and on the transfer. Now, like I said, this film came out in 1997. I do recall going to see it, and I had a lot of fun with it. Now, I know the original Escape from New York is a fantastic film. It's one of John Carpenter's best films, and this film is nowhere near as good as that. And this film essentially plays as a sequel. It almost plays like a remake of the first one. The setup is exactly the same, although instead of it being New York, he has to go into Los Angeles. Instead of him finding the president, he has to go and find the president's daughter and all this sort of stuff. It's pretty much the same film. You know, beat for beat, it's almost the same. You know, you got the scene in the first one, the sports related scene. In this one, you got the scene, you know, in the sort of gladiatorial scene with the basketball and all that sort of stuff. So the film does sort of is very repetitive. Now, in that sense. Now, this film's got a great cast to it. You know, you've obviously got Kurt Russell, but you've got appearances by, you've got Joe Pesci in the film, you've got Pam Grier in the film, you've got Peter Fonda in the film, you know. But unfortunately, a lot of the appearances in this film feel like cameos. It feels like one scene goes from one thing to another with one person, then another person, like Bruce Campbell's in it for all of a couple of minutes. But his name's at the beginning, same with Pam Grier. I've got to say Joe Pesci then. Steve Buscemi, he does pop up throughout the film, obviously, and he's one of the primary stars of it. But his allegiance keeps shifting with it. He's one of them sort of characters that will go to the winning side and untrustworthy character, you know. But you know, like I said, the film is it's repetitive, as in it's like the first one. Some acting's good, some acting's bad. Do you know what I mean? But it's not to be taken seriously. Christ, it's Escape from LA. You know, we're given this sort of future that's, you know, America's under this fascist dictatorship and this sort of thing, which isn't far off the truth anyway, is it? But do you know what I mean? And yeah, now the soundtrack to the film was scored by Shirley Walker and John Carpenter. And believe it or not, I actually have the soundtrack CD. I bought this in '97 after the film came out, because I liked it. I liked the soundtrack, primarily the primary theme for Snake and that sort of thing, which is utilised in the film considerable amount. There's a lot of repetitive nature to the soundtrack, but you know, there's some scores on there which are quite good. Unfortunately, they're all pretty short and this sort of thing, but you know, the film soundtrack is fine. Now, as for them special effects, now as you know, this film has got some pretty ropey special effects in it. You know, the underwater submarine scene, the helicopter, this sort of stuff. But you know what? I was expecting on 4K for this to look worse, in that, you know, you've got a much clearer picture, so the effects are going to stand out even more. And they didn't. I was very, very surprised that they didn't. I think they look worse on the Blu-ray or on the DVD than what they do on this transfer. Now, as for the transfer itself, it's fantastic. You know, I was very, very impressed with the transfer on this disc. This is a very, very clean and crisp looking transfer with you know, there's no grain to it whatsoever. I'm not particularly a grain lover in that sense. So for me, this was beautiful and clear. It was, you know, it was crisp. Yeah, I can't fault the transfer. As for the colours were nice. I mean, the film's a pretty dark and dingy film anyway, but then there was a bit of colour. It did stand out. So I was very, very impressed. Now, I know there has been a reported sound issue on this film to do with 5.1, I believe, and a couple of speakers being the same. Now, I don't have a sound system of that sort of ilk. I just listen through a sound bar, which is fine for me. I'm not too big on requiring all this sort of stuff and elements coming like that at me, at least not yet. If I was set up with something like that, I might love it, but yeah, so for me, I found this to be you know, the sound was fantastic in the way that I listened to it. I had no issue with the sound. I'm not, you know, a sound engineer or know too much about it, just telling you what I think. But yeah, so all in all, I think this was a wonderful release. Overpriced for the special edition, absolutely, but the quality of the 4K scan, the transfer, and all this is second to none. I think it's really, really good. I was very, very impressed. And it's a film that I can have fun with. I can sit down and have fun with. And like I said, it's not a great film. It's got its issues and this sort of thing. You know, there's scenes that you'd probably find embarrassing that I don't. You know, the surfboarding scene, I just think it's so stupid that it's fun. You know, and you know, going along beside the car with Steve Buscemi in it, you know, Map to the Stars Eddie and him jumping over onto the car, just total stupidness. But you know, I enjoy it. I have fun with the film. It brings back a good memories of me of a good time, a good era in my life when, you know, yeah, I was having fun with this sort of stuff. It was an enjoyable ride. Like I said, nowhere near as good as the first, but nevertheless, a fantastic transfer and a film that I can sit down and thoroughly enjoy. And the ending of the film is just spot on. This has got one of those endings that you just remember, you know. Regardless of what you think of this film, it's about Snake Plissken. And Snake Plissken is just cool. He oozes this coolness throughout this film. Everything he does, his mannerisms, the way he speaks, the way he looks. He's just a really cool character and would love to have seen some more of Kurt Russell in this role. Unfortunately, that wasn't ever meant to be. There was a script written for a third one, actually, which I think was Escape from Mars or something like that, which was going to be set up in space. It never happened because this film didn't make very much money, obviously. And that script was reworked to give John Carpenter the movie Ghosts of Mars. Yes, Ghosts of Mars was actually meant to be the third escape movie. Obviously there's alterations to it that were made to the script to make it into another film, but essentially that was going to be the third escape, and you'd have an escape trilogy. But like I said, unfortunately not meant to be. As for rumours of a remake, and that's I don't want a remake of Escape from New York or Escape from LA. I don't want a recasting of the character of Snake Plissken. This is Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell brought this character to life off of the page, you know, from the script, and it's him that created this character and gave him the mannerisms that he gave him. I wouldn't want to see someone else doing this role. But yeah, anyway, so this is AJ, just a quick chat about that film, about the transfer. Big thumbs up, love it, very happy. Anyway, this is AJ, I'll see you on the next one, hopefully. Take care all, please consider hitting the subscribe button, coming back for some more. Yeah, see you all later, take care, goodbye.